Hi, I'm Willow. Today, we're going to be learning all about how the Earth Mother provides for us through fermentation. We're going to be lacto-fermenting using just simple household ingredients like salt and blueberries and honey and garlic and mushrooms and things that I always just have lying around the house. And what we're going to do is we're going to turn them into pieces of magic that will keep us healthy and help us live forever. But first, excuse me, which direction is it? East? Very good. Now, let us begin. The first one we're going to do is garlic fermented honey. So what we're going to do is we're just going to take our garlic, which I've taken the time to peel, and then I just take the edges off and I just give them a little squeeze just to release all the juices inside. And we're just going to put them right in this like so. It's really easy. And I've taken some raw honey, which you see here, and I've warmed it up because it tends to crystallize. And we're going to just gently pour it over and allow it to just kind of sit. What I really like about this recipe is that it's delicious. You can use it on all sorts of stuff. It keeps your immune system boosted, your mind and your body fit, and the government off your land. After about 6 months or so, you'll see that it's going to get like this, nice and watery. It'll do this after about a week, but I've had this one going for about 6 or 7 months, and I pop a little bit in my mouth every day. I don't want to say that this is my favorite because, like your children, you don't want to say that you have a favorite, but you do. And this one's probably mine. But next, we're going to go into something that's a little bit more complicated. Okay, so we're just going to take a bowl and weigh it like that, and then just tear that weight off. So now we're going to take some oyster mushrooms. I like these because they're nice and meaty. And they weigh 102 grams. We'll call it 100, right? And I'm just going to tear that off. And I'm going to take a little bit of salt. And I'm just going to weigh 2 grams. That's easy. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to mix them around like this. Take my jar, like that. And I'm just going to move them over. Set those off to the side. And we're going to repeat that exact same process, this time with our shiitake mushrooms. Last night was a beautiful full moon, a pink moon, a super moon, when the moon goddess was as close to us as possible. And that's when I decided that it would be a good time to meet up on Zoom with some friends of mine and do a little bit of mycology research myself.
Love me, don't you? We've always been good friends.
Whoa, sorry, I was having a flashback. Sometimes you just gotta ride them, you know? So I've got 100 grams of shiitake mushrooms here, and same thing, just gonna weigh out another 2 grams. And we'll just put those off to the side. And then we repeat the process one more time, this time with blueberries. Okay, so now what we're going to want to do is, because over time these are going to draw out moisture and everything will start to float, but you need to be weighed down into the brine that it makes. This is fortunate in that it will, over time, become more liquidy and fill itself up, so it doesn't need to be weighed down. Now, for a long time I used to fill these with water and then I'd put them in and then I'd have to squeeze water out and make these big messes. And then one day I learned this trick, which is that you put the bag in first. At this point, all we need to do is fill these up so they're weighed down and then ask the Earth Goddess for permission for the vegetables and fruits to ferment. We'll check back on these in a couple days or we'll be burping them. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you something that I've been doing every day. We call it burping. They've completed their journey, and what you just do is just undo the lid every day. And then sometimes it'll stick, so you just pop them off. Some days it'll be really loud and it'll make a popping noise, like that one. Right? Did you hear that? And then other days, it'll be quiet. Take your jar, like this one, and a little trick that I learned 15 years in the Navy is that you put this little lid like this, and you can drain the liquids You'll reserve this liquid for all sorts of fun stuff. Also, this is what's really fermenting everything, so by separating the two, you slow the process. But then I'll keep these like that, and I'll keep the liquid like that. And I'll just repeat the process for all these. So throughout the fermenting week, I've been using this device here, which is a pH meter, just to check to see how acidic everything has become. You want it to go below 4.6 because it just guarantees that it's safe. Ooh, 420. These are safe. We'll just talk really briefly about things you can use these for. The liquids, you can imagine them like soy sauces. You can use this kind of like, you can either brush it on like they do in sushi restaurants, or you can just like use it as dipping sauce. You can use it to start a vinaigrette, all sorts of things like that. The solids themselves, taste them. Everything is a unique little microbiome, and so they each have their own individual flavor each time you do it. So, you know, choose appropriately, but you can see them as somewhere between like an umami bomb and a new application for mushrooms. So they pick up like a more sour component, so you can use them like almost in lieu of certain like sour fruits. With the blueberries, I like them on my yogurt. They add like a completely complex tanginess to them that's unlike anything you've probably ever had before. It's like kombucha, if kombucha was a type of yogurt, and if yogurt was a type of kombucha. Thank you for taking time and making space for me so that we could cradle these fermentations as they happened. Without them, without us, they wouldn't have been able to complete their voyage. But I hope to see you again, and if you see Claudette, don't tell her that I was here. These are like blueberries on weed. And these are like mushrooms on acid. These are like mushrooms on mushrooms. This is like garlic on all three.